What's up guys, my name is Ace, and a little while back I made a video talking about what I consider to be the current top 10 guns in Modern Warfare 3, but that was designed for core game modes, and since then I've had a lot of people asking for a best guns in hardcore video, so that's what we're going to be covering today. But the big thing I want to point out right at the beginning here is in hardcore, just about any gun can be used really effectively. The gap between like the best gun in hardcore and the worst gun in hardcore is tiny compared to that gap in core game modes. So it was pretty difficult to really narrow this down to the top 12, and if there's a gun that's not on this list, it doesn't mean it's bad in hardcore modes. Again, just about anything can be made good in hardcore. This is just a list of what I consider to be the optimal guns for hardcore game modes if you're really trying to be as successful as possible. And without further ado, let's dive into it with number 12 on the list. This is the WSP9. And the reason I wanted to include this one is it's the only SMG in the game that has a guaranteed one-shot kill anywhere in the body at any range in hardcore modes. And on top of that, you got SMG level handling, which is great to see, and our bullet velocity is pretty impressive for an SMG as well, so that generally shouldn't be an issue for you. However, the reason it's ranked fairly low on my list here is it has an open bolt delay. So when you first pull that trigger, there will be a roughly 55 millisecond delay before that shot is fired. And therefore, that's effectively your time to kill potential with this gun. Rather than 0 milliseconds, it's 55 milliseconds. Still generally going to be outgunning anything that takes you 2 shots to kill, but other one-shot kill weapons may get the jump on you. Next, when it comes to number 11 on my list, this is the MCW, and you might be wondering why this is so low on the list, since this is one of the best guns in core modes. And the simple fact is, you're only guaranteed a one-shot kill anywhere in the body in the maximum damage range, out to about 26.5 meters. And then in the next damage range, we can still get a one-shot kill to the body, but that has to be to the upper torso or arms. So that does hold this gun back a little bit, but the upsides really just can't be ignored with the MCW. Not only is it one of the most accurate guns in the game, so honestly hitting them twice at longer ranges is not going to be a problem. We've also got a great bullet velocity at 710 meters per second, and our handling stats are pretty good for an assault rifle. So while the MCW isn't quite as dominant in hardcore modes compared to core modes, it's still a solid enough choice that I feel it deserved a spot on this list. After that, for number 10, let's move back into the SMG category here with the Striker, and this is the Striker 45, by the way, not the Striker 9. And with this one, we get a guaranteed one-shot kill anywhere in the body out to 25.5 meters, which is pretty good for an SMG. Also, we get SMG level handling, so we get a really fast aim down sight speed at 215 milliseconds, an amazing sprint out time at just 100 milliseconds, and once again, just like with the WSP9, we also have a pretty decent bullet velocity for an SMG, so it shouldn't be an issue for you at all. And therefore, if you are looking to be a bit more aggressive and you're not planning on challenging really long-range gunfights, the Striker 45 is excellent for hardcore game modes. Next, I definitely wanted to include the FR556 on this list, especially when you toggle it over to semi-auto. Now you can use it as a burst as well, but the thing is, this gun is a guaranteed one-shot kill anywhere in the body at any range, and therefore you don't need all 3 rounds in a burst, you just need 1 bullet to hit. So if you swap it to semi-auto, then you don't have to worry about a burst delay or anything, and you'll just be one-tapping everybody every single time. Our bullet velocity is 680 meters per second, which is great. Our aim down sight speed is like a little bit on the slower side for assault rifles, but still not bad at all at 260 milliseconds. And it's kind of similar story with our sprint out time. It is a bit on the slower side, but it's still reasonable enough. It's also worth mentioning, if you have a good trigger finger with this, you get an amazing rate of fire potential, so that shouldn't be holding you back at all. Now, somewhat similar to the FR556, we actually have the DM56 in the marksman rifle category. And the reason I included this one is, again, just like with the FR556, it's a one-shot kill anywhere in the body at any range, although it does have a slower rate of fire potential, so it's not quite as spammable. It does have a better bullet velocity at 700 meters per second, a better aim down sight speed at 235 milliseconds, so you can snap to target a little bit faster, and our sprint out time is also better than the FR556 at 168 milliseconds. This makes the DM56 an excellent choice in hardcore game modes, definitely the best out of the marksman rifle category. After that, let's get into number 7 on my list, and this is the RAM-7. And with this gun, it's not a guaranteed one-shot kill everywhere, but our guaranteed one-shot kill is great at 33 meters, and our one-shot kill potential extends out to 44 meters as long as you don't shoot him in the legs, which is pretty easy to do. So I'd say at least in the vast majority of ranges you run into in this game, this is going to be a one-shot kill. To top that off, we've got great bullet velocity, solid handling for an assault rifle, and this is full auto with a reasonably high fire rate, so it's also quite forgiving. If you happen to miss a shot, it's not a big deal because the next one's coming out very soon. And that's why I actually rank this a little bit above like the DM56 and the FR556. It's just for simple ease of use and forgiveness. After that, we've got the BAS-B, and I would recommend keeping the BAS-B in full auto. Because with this, it's got an infinite one-shot kill potential, although in the minimum damage range beyond like 53 meters, which is a really long range for 6v6, if you shoot them in the legs, it will require 2 shots to kill, but generally speaking, you should be able to hit torso even at extremely long ranges. And with this, we also have a great bullet velocity at 790 meters per second, and solid enough handling combined with very low recoil. So while this gun might not be as dominant as it is in core game modes, it's still one of the better guns to use in hardcore modes. And saying that though, I would argue that the Holger 5.56 is a little bit better than the BAS-B for hardcore modes because this one is always going to be a one-shot kill. It still has a very solid bullet velocity and handling that's within the realm of average for an assault rifle, while also being a very accurate gun that's super easy to control. And overall, there's just no major downsides to using the Holger 5.56 in hardcore, it's just great all around. In saying that though, it is beat out a little bit by the TAC-56 from Modern Warfare 2. Because this gun is the only one of the Modern Warfare 2 assault rifles that doesn't drop off to a 2-shot kill. It's a 1-shot kill anywhere in the body at any range. It's extremely accurate and easy to control. It's got better handling stats than the Holger 5.56, as well as a faster rate of fire and a better bullet velocity at 720 meters per second. So this is just all around a little bit better than the Holger 5.56 and an amazing assault rifle to use in hardcore. And this brings us to number 3 on my list, which might surprise you. This is actually a battle rifle. This is the MTZ-762, preferably with the Jack Heretic carbine kit in full auto mode. Because the thing with this particular setup is it's a guaranteed 1-shot kill anywhere in the body at any range. We've got a pretty decent rate of fire with that carbine kit on there at 600 rounds per minute. Our bullet velocity is solid enough at 621 meters per second, and our handling stats are also pretty good for a battle rifle. In saying all of that, I would say the most important part about this, and the reason that I rank this so high for hardcore game modes, is at least in the game's current state, when using the Jack Carbine kit on the MTZ-762, you have literally 0 idle sway. And what that means is your first shot that you fire will be pinpoint accurate every single time. You never have to worry about that sway. And this allows you to get that like pixel perfect shot off even at extremely long ranges. You don't have to get the timing just right with your idle sway. You literally just put your point of aim on target and you shoot, and the bullet will always go in the exact spot that you were aiming every single time. And for hardcore modes especially, where we can get a 1-shot kill, this is an incredibly valuable characteristic with this gun, and it's the reason that it jumped ahead of many of the other guns that would otherwise be comparable. In either case, this brings us to number 2 on my list, and this is actually one of the Modern Warfare 2 pistols. This is the X12. And the obvious reason that this pistol is ranked so highly on this list is you get pistol level handling and mobility. So our aim down sight speed is incredibly fast at 150 milliseconds. And it's a similar story with our sprint out time. This is insanely fast at just 80 milliseconds. So you can sprint around like crazy with very little penalty. It's also worth noting we get an infinite 1-shot kill potential with this gun, although beyond 28 meters, you have to make sure you're hitting anywhere in the torso and up. And the only real noticeable downside here is our bullet velocity is quite slow at 375 meters per second. So if you are stretching the range out on a moving target, you may have to lead that target a little bit, whereas with some other guns, you wouldn't have to. But in general, as long as you keep yourself within the typical ranges you'd find on the 6v6 maps, you shouldn't find too much of an issue with that bullet velocity. And it's just so incredibly valuable to have all of those pistol-like characteristics while still maintaining a 1-shot kill. And that's why number 1 on my list is also a pistol. This is the Core 45. And this one has nearly identical stats to the X12, or at least the stats that really matter. So amazing handling, amazing mobility. Unfortunately, a fairly slow bullet velocity at 375 meters per second. But unlike the X12, this gun never drops off to a 2-shot kill. It's always a 1-shot kill at any range, anywhere in the body. And combining that with all of the pistol attributes, you can be sprinting around the map like a madman, reacting super quickly, snapping on a target super fast, while also having the ability to pick off a 1-shot kill at literally 100 meters if you wanted to, as long as you account for that bullet velocity. And with all of that combined, at least from the perspective of a more aggressive player, this makes the Core 45 the best gun, in my opinion, in hardcore game modes in Modern Warfare 3. Now, of course, this is just my list, though, and I do have some biases here. Again, as somebody that likes to play a bit more aggressively, of course, I'm going to be ranking the pistols higher than some of the other guns that might be better at hanging back and picking people off. So this is where I want to hear from you guys in those comments down below. What are some of your favorite guns to use in hardcore game modes in Modern Warfare 3 so far? Are they the same guns that are on this list, or do you have some guns that you really like that aren't on this list? Just let me know down below. If you enjoyed this video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.